Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today I will tell you a very heart-touching and inspiring story in simple English. This story will help you practice listening, improve your English, and enjoy at the same time. The story's title is The Boy with the Empty Bowl. Are you ready? Let's begin. Once upon a time, in a small, dusty village, there lived a little boy named Amir. Amir was about 9 years old, with big brown eyes that always looked sad. His hair was messy, his clothes were torn, and in his small hands, he carried an empty metal bowl. Every day, Amir walked through the streets of the village, hoping someone would drop a piece of bread into his bowl. The streets were loud with merchants shouting, donkeys carrying heavy bags, and children laughing as they played. But Amir did not laugh. His stomach was empty, and his heart felt even emptier. One hot afternoon, as Amir wandered slowly through the market, he saw a kind-looking old man selling fruit. The man noticed Amir standing silently, staring at the pile of apples. "Little one," the man said gently, "are you hungry?" Amir nodded, but said nothing. He was shy and afraid of being rejected. The old man smiled and placed a shiny red apple in Amir's bowl. "For you," he said. Amir's eyes lit up. It was not just an apple, it was hope. That night, Amir sat under the stars and ate the apple slowly. He closed his eyes and imagined a world where his bowl was never empty. He dreamed of bread, rice, fruit, and even sweet cakes. In his dream, he had friends to share food with, and laughter filled the air. He whispered to himself, "One day, I will have a full bowl. One day, I will give food to others, just like the kind old man gave me." The next morning, Amir wandered to the edge of the village where musicians played flutes and drums. He sat quietly, listening. His heart beat with the rhythm, and without thinking, he picked up 2 sticks and tapped them on a stone. The sound was beautiful, soft yet powerful. One of the musicians noticed and handed Amir a small drum. "Try this," he said. Amir played, and to everyone's surprise, the music was wonderful. People in the market stopped to listen. For the first time, Amir smiled. When Amir finished playing, a woman dropped a small coin into his bowl. Then another person gave him bread. Suddenly, the bowl was no longer empty. Amir felt warmth in his heart. He realized something important. Even though he was poor, he had a gift. His music could bring joy, and joy could bring food. Days turned into weeks. Amir continued playing music in the market. His bowl filled with bread, rice, and sometimes even sweets. He shared his food with other hungry children, remembering his dream. The villagers began to call him the Little Drummer Boy. His music was simple, but it touched people's hearts. It reminded them of kindness, of hope, of sharing. One day, the village prepared for a great festival. Bright cloths decorated the streets, lanterns were hung on doors, and the smell of delicious food filled the air. Drums, flutes, and laughter echoed everywhere. The chief of the village announced, "Tonight we will celebrate together. Music, dance, and joy will fill our hearts." When people saw Amir in the crowd, many children shouted, "Let Amir play! Let the little drummer boy play!" The chief smiled and called him forward. Amir was nervous. His clothes were still old, his shoes broken, but his spirit was strong. He walked slowly to the center of the square. Everyone's eyes were on him. His hands trembled as he lifted the small drum, but then he remembered the kind old man, the apple, and his dream under the stars. He began to play. The rhythm was soft at first, like the heartbeat of the earth. Then it grew louder, faster, full of life. The sound of his drum seemed to rise into the night sky. People clapped in rhythm, children danced in circles, and even the chief stood up and swayed to the beat. For the first time, Amir did not feel like a poor boy. He felt like a star, shining in the middle of the festival. When Amir finished, the crowd cheered loudly. Some clapped, others shouted his name, and many had tears in their eyes. Then something magical happened. A woman came forward and dropped 2 shiny coins into his bowl. Another man placed a piece of warm bread. Soon, more and more people stepped forward. Rice, fruit, sweets, and even small gifts. Within minutes, Amir's bowl was overflowing. Amir stared at it in disbelief. For so long, his bowl had been empty, and now it was too full to carry. But instead of keeping it all for himself, he looked at the hungry children standing at the edge of the square. He remembered the nights when he had gone to sleep with nothing. "Here," he said, smiling as he handed bread to one child and rice to another. "Take this. No one should be hungry tonight." The children's laughter filled the square as they ate happily. The villagers watched in silence, touched by Amir's kindness. His bowl was full, but so was his heart. That night, after the festival ended, Amir walked outside the village. He sat under the same stars where he once whispered his dream, holding his drum close to his chest. He looked up and said softly, "My bowl is no longer empty, but I promise I will never let another child's bowl be empty if I can help it." He closed his eyes and imagined the future, traveling to other villages, playing his music, and sharing food with children everywhere. The thought made him smile. From that moment, Amir was no longer just a poor boy. He was a boy with a mission. His music would not only feed him, it would feed hope, kindness, and love wherever he went. The story of Amir, the little boy with the empty bowl, traveled far and wide. Villagers told it to their children, travelers carried it to distant towns, and soon Amir's name was known in many places. People learned an important lesson from him. Even in the darkest times, even with an empty bowl, there is always something we can give. A smile, a song, a little kindness. These things can fill hearts more than food alone. Amir's drum became a symbol of hope. Whenever people heard its sound, they remembered that kindness is stronger than hunger, and love is greater than poverty. And so Amir's story lived on, reminding everyone that true wealth is not in the gold we keep, but in the love we share. His bowl was no longer just metal. It was a shining symbol of generosity. Thank you so much for listening to this story. I hope you enjoyed The Boy with the Empty Bowl and learned something new in English today. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And remember, every story helps you get better at English, step by step. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.